Hello, investors. It is Connor Bates, Associate Portfolio Manager with Revere Asset Management. Today is Wednesday, October 16th, 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time. Coming to you with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. And before I start, if you guys enjoy the content, the videos, give it a like, comment, subscribe. We always appreciate the interaction. Market state still continue to be in an uptrend. And if we look at the trend gauge here, no changes. As you know, it's bull market, ride the wave. Market leaders acting great. We have the green arrow there. Short term, this is our 21-day EMA, green arrow there. Medium term, this is our 50 SMA, green arrow. And then long term, this is our 200-day moving average, green arrow there. And if you've been watching our videos for a while, you know that the market doesn't get into serious trouble until we have a sustained break below the 200-day moving average. So what happened today? Well, you can see in the final numbers, I have the Russell 2000 bolded, and it was second day of small cap outperformance, and that often coincides with leading stocks performing as well, even if they're not necessarily a small cap. So the final number is 21 over 21 list, up 0.65%, 11 green, 3 neutral, 7 red. Big 8 flat on the day, down 0.04%. RG8 up 0.88%. S&P up about a 0.5%. Equal weight up 0.68%. QQQ up 0.01%. Equal weight up 0.10%. Dow Jones up 0.73%. Mid caps up 0.91%. Russell 2000 leading the day up 1.64%. 60/40 up 0.33%, and in-house GROTECTION up 0.88%. And you know, they say rotation is the lifeblood of a bull market, and it's super positive to see the big 8 and the Qs flat on the day, but seeing that big outperformance in small caps, and then our growth composite up almost 1% as well. Alrighty. So as usual, we'll get into the inter-asset correlation, and I'll start with the chart of the S&P 500 here. So yeah, yesterday we obviously had that outside reversal, but zooming out, we never broke the 8 EMA, and we never broke the support level here. So, there's always going to be shakes in uptrends, and you can see just held it fine. We didn't get stopped out of any positions yesterday. And if I go to 60-minute chart, this is a pretty textbook, broke out through 5,800 here, right? And then came back down, almost retested it just about, and now we're seeing that bounce. So across all time frames, the S&P looks good. And obviously, if 5,800 were to break, you have 57.67. That's another level. And then the bottom end of the range here is around 5,700. But all in all, good action today, and good to see the S&P bounce back. Equal weight, strong again, bouncing back today, and just further seeing that rotation, and not just the market just isn't up based on Big 7 or Mag 7 names. So this strong today. QQQ, relative weakness today, but overall looks fine. It kind of got that 500 level pause, but basically that 490 level that we've been highlighting in the tail of the tape, that held. And if that were to lose 485.54, that's a big level. Coincides with the 21, but as long as this holds, tech looks fine. And it's a pretty good spot here to bounce. So we'll see heading into the remainder of the week. Dow Jones strong again today. No give back from this 42 area breakout level. Mid caps, this is exactly what we want to see, falling through to the upside after yesterday, and good above this line, bad below. So no reason to get defensive or bearish mid and smalls when they're falling through to the upside off the breakout. Russell 2000 again, very strong today, leading the way, and 4 up days in a row. So would be normal if this, puts in the inside day or just handles out a little bit more. But as we've seen, when small caps get into gear, they can run pretty hard. You can see right here, this was like a lockout rally earlier this year, and positioning tends to be underweight this sector. So The VIX coming back below 20, exactly what we want to see. And the good thing to note is that although the indexes are at highs, VIX still at 50 cents below 20. That gives it room. So if this comes all the way back down into, the 15 level, that could provide some more fuel for the market. The dollar index strong again today, but small caps not really being affected by it. This is coming back into this 200-day moving average, and after this big move up, logical for this to pull back, but we'll see. And it's still not really weighing in on gold. So if anything, as you know, the dollar and gold correlation, if this comes down, that could fuel even some more power for gold out of this mini base. Gold stocks again strong, as long as it should hold 40 on any pullback, it's going to continue higher. Silver setting up. I mentioned the other week after kind of a V shape up here. So now we're starting to get that handle, and that sets it up better for a breakout through 29.56 and 30 level. Bitcoin, another higher high today and acting well, seeing that relative strength come in here. And if we go to the weekly, you can draw this so many different ways. And obviously, it's a little bit harder with the IBIT chart versus the actual Bitcoin chart. But this is breaking that declining tops trend line on the weekly, and this one looks good. Bonds kind of getting a little relief here. TLT as well held the 200-day, 30-year moving lower again today. Same with the 10-year as well. All right, so we'll get into the tail of the tape. And so let's see. Like I mentioned, the VIX coming down. And one thing you'll see tomorrow, we're going to update. We'll get the new AAII numbers along with the NAIIM. So these are sentiment, bull bear readings. So we'll see if we see this NAM, into 100. Historically, that's been a time where the market is more susceptible to a pullback as, once everyone's on one side of the boat, tends to sink the other way. And then news. So TSM reports earnings tomorrow morning. That could be a big tell for the whole semiconductor group. Jobless claims tomorrow, along with retail sales. And today's keys, green arrow on them, held this S&P level. QQQ closed back above 490. And then we recently added this percent of stocks above the 5-day moving average. And this is just a little short-term oscillator that we use. It tends to be pretty good at turning points in the market. So when you see it super extended, could be a time that maybe a little pullback shakes coming in, but these are secondary indicators. So always price is first, but this is still pretty neutral. So no glaring signals off that one. Day count up 1, 7 days above the 8, 26 days above the 21. And then sectors wise, uranium was very strong today. DAPP, this is the digital transfer ETF, and basically it just has some Bitcoin miners. It has Square in it, and it's a good proxy to see when some of these fintech slash crypto stocks are moving higher. That could be a good tell. Utilities strong again today, coming right back into 52-week highs. Regional banks strong again, and continue to see good earnings across financials and regional banks, home builders and financials. IGV pulling back a little bit, but software still looks good. Oil, semiconductors were slightly red, and then communications as well. And no trades today. Adjusted beta stands at 1.61. And the bottom line, day 2 is small cap outperformance. What does this mean? All right, let's get into the charts, and we'll start with the 21/21 list. CEG, so I mentioned utility strong, and as you can see, pulled back just about to the 50-day, reclaimed the 21 and back into the highs, and that bodes well for a lot of these energy names. CEG with a strong day today. ALAB, mentioned this yesterday, held that gap low and seen nice fall through today, up 5%. VRT continues to trend higher. This one looks great. And obviously this is the leader, with AI and that cooling component. So you could argue maybe a little bit short-term extended. We are almost 27% extended from the 50-day. And just to reference back here, it was only 20% extended from the 50-day. So just something to be aware of. Hundreds, obviously, on any pullback, we'd like to see that hold. NVIDIA. So after yesterday, with all the semiconductors, this is putting a strong reversal today. And basically, it was mostly the semiconductor equipment stocks. If you look at ASML, obviously, this is putting in a day two lower low. LRCX is another one falling through to the downside. ASML again. And then when you look at NVIDIA put a nice upside reversal today off that AEMA, and it held this, that 130 level on the pullback. So that's good to see. And, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but Stanley Druckenmiller was on Bloomberg today, and he says he regrets selling all of his NVIDIA and that he would look to buy it back. So C Limited, great action from this one, continues to be a leader up into that 100 psych level. FCX, China was bouncing a little bit today, so this one's still watching. You got a downtrend line here, and it's at this like gap low area. So if it can hold this could be a good risk to reward. GWRE, another day, this is just frozen rope to the upside. Coherent held that 100 level on the pullback, looks good. Oracle, again, a lot of names putting in some nice reversals today. XOM just coming into this, top of that prior breakout level 120 spot. It's going to continue higher. That level should hold. Kava, super strong. Food stocks just continue to be one of the best industry groups in the market. Sprouts Farmers Market trending higher. STX kind of forming the handle out of this cut base here on the right side. So this one looks good. Axon, just super low volatility uptrend. MSTR, this one could be setting up. Obviously, 200 is a big level, and it did, kind of have a bit of a V shape into that level, that strong push, but not losing the short-term moving averages. So if this one flags a little bit or just reclaims 200, that looks pretty good. And it actually almost looks similar to back here. Let's see, that's 215. We'll go into that. And so you can see similar, it shot right up here like it's doing now, came into that overhead resistance, and then we'll just do it. And then you started to U-turn. I'll just do this. And then you can see, one sec. And then you can see what happened here. So that's a potential precedent for MSTR. I just thought that was interesting. And then let's see. F5 starting to lose the 21 today. Palantir was a decent opportunity today into this 40 level and the 21. Didn't see any relevant news on why gap down, but closed slightly just down 1% today. This one continues to be just super strong stock. IoT pulling back into the 21-day, see if it takes out that 50 level. Uber mentioned 82, 82.14. So it's sitting right at that gap low. So maybe this reclaims back tomorrow, but 3 days down, you can see the stochastic. It's got a pretty clear 60-minute downtrend line, and you got the stochastics quite oversold here. So maybe it breaks back above, but you've seen it mentioned when a name's whatever you want to call it, extended on the daily, sometimes zooming into the hourly time frame can help get entries into things. Cart acting pretty normal, still above this 40 level and just pretty orderly pullback. See the volume's been very light on the decline. Shark Ninja losing the 21-day. We'll see if this pulls back into the 100 level or the 50-day. That could be a good spot. So we'll see. That's the 21 over 21 list. We'll go over a couple of things. FFTY. So with growth starting to act well and small caps, this is a good proxy for some of the stocks we traffic in. And this is, up to the right side above the 200-day, 21 and 8 sloping up. This looks pretty good. And, actually a better the IBD 50. And you can see this looks great. So this just when this is working, this is usually conducive of a better stock pickers environment. So that's IBD 50. Let's take a look at semiconductors. You can see we'll see how this handles out into the rest of the week. Obviously, I mentioned TSM reports tomorrow morning, so that could affect the sector, but this is kind of that this level it's rejecting there. You got the 200-day and the 50-day as support here. So this definitely needs to hold for semiconductors. If we look at names like ARM, this one held up pretty good today, kind of holding the top of this pivot spot. So as long as this holds, this could maybe undercut and reclaim and start to U-turn. And then you got AMD's clearly a laggard, back below the 200-day. So that's semiconductors, regional banks, good, super strong. This looks like it really wants to power through out of the space. And then, like I mentioned, XLF, most strong bull markets, financials are working. And when you see Goldman Sachs trading right at highs, that's usually a good tell for the broad economy. And then you can take it a little bit further and look at names like American Express, consumers doing all right. And then, yeah, some of these brokers as well. CBOE is another one. So yeah, strong comeback today for the market. And that is going to wrap it. As always, like to hear from you. The email is connor@revereasset.com. And then you can always reach out to Dan or Don at revereasset.com. Phone is 855 Real Wealth. That is 855-732-5932. And we name our flagship portfolio GROTECTION. We want to participate when the market is in an uptrend and protect money in downtrends. And as you can see, 4 coveted green arrows. We are in grow mode right now. And if you're ever interested in becoming a client, please reach out. And with that, I'll wrap it for Wednesday, October 16th. This is Connor Bates with Revere Asset Management. Telling it like it is. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.